welcome to the Blackhouse. We're back with our good friend Byron. How you been, man?
I've been good.
What have you been up to?
Suffering with a PhD is what I've been doing.
What, suffering with a PhD?
Yeah, it's been good. Like it's been good, but my supervisors gave me the whole we want to see some more writing, and I was like, oh damn.
That's
all I have is ideas for now.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a really big project that you're doing. It's like, damn, like the more ideas you get together and put it together, it'll probably be more than I've ever seen in any sort of research for that sort of thing in New Zealand so far.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point too. Like when I talk to people about it, I say there's not much in New Zealand, so I almost feel that like I feel obligated to do quite a good job. But I'm very aware that this research will hopefully be the first of many.
Right.
You know, so kind of set a tone for what I want it to be, and then move forward. But it's tiring, man. I'm feeling pretty tired right now. But I'm doing well though. Otherwise, I'm doing well. I'm really, really good.
When's it all supposed to be finished by?
Oh, it's like another 2 years. Two
you
to 2.5 years.
Sorry, you're up to Christmas. I'm not surprised you're getting tired.
Oh yeah, man. I need a break.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like Christmas myself anyway, but mostly because it's holiday, food, and family.
It's a change of seasons too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're going from from winter, snow in Alfero Bay today. I mean, like, what the heck is that?
I mean, we go from winter in Wellington where you never see the sun for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what? This is a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, look, I look so pale. I got to get some sun, man. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to summer a lot.
Yeah.
Very much so, man.
Awesome. And we also have in the house today, because we've had some pretty serious conversation over the last few weeks, Byron?
Yeah.
Like, we've been dealing with the racism and mental health and
what I'm good for.
racism in housing and racism in your McDonald's and, you know, in your mince pies and whatnot. But this week we're going to do something a little easier and a little bit more lighter. And we're going to be talking to a young man named, now, I don't want to butcher your name. Demeysa, yes. Demeysa, and his new clothing line called Jirtu.
Yes.
Have I said that right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, awesome. So, tell us about yourself, just to start off. Warm us up.
It's always difficult when someone says, tell us about yourself. You're like, what parts do I tell about myself, you know? So I'll start with the simple stuff. I came here as a former refugee in 1998 with my family. Yeah. My time here in New Zealand has been great for the most part, and I'm currently a social work student in my final year as well. So, and married with 2 kids, so things are quite busy, man.
Married with 2 kids? Wow.
Yeah.
How old are you?
You know, black don't crack, you know what I mean? I'm 32.
Oh, okay. Wow, I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cocoa butter.
The cocoa butter. So, where shall we start? Tell us about this clothing label.
Yeah, it's been in my mind for a long time. I just wanted to create something that's represented my cultural heritage, something that is of high quality. So I wanted to come up with a brand, but I didn't want to. I needed something that's familiar with the people already. So Jirtu is known by the Oromo people. Just a bit of context, I'm from Ethiopia. There's over 72 different tribes in Ethiopia, each with their own language and customs. So the Oromo people are the largest tribe in East Africa. Oh. So they're over 50 million people. So Jirtu means, are you living? Are you existing? You know, so the common response would be, if I walk into this room here and you guys are here, I'll be like, Jirtu, you say Jirra, meaning we're living, we're here.
Jirra.
Yeah.
Jirra.
So Jirtu.
Jirra.
Jirra. There you go. So yeah, it's I know it may seem like a pipe dream, but I want to take this quality clothes back home. Because back home, quality is not something that's available, you know. We always get secondhand clothes from USA dumped in Africa, and we kind of filter through that as well, and the clothes, the materials that we get there is not high quality, you know. So I want my people to enjoy the quality clothes, the finer things in life. And
I've got a question. When I was in Tanzania, you go down to the markets, and it was like there was a whole lot of markets selling secondhand clothes where they'd gotten them in the big bundles. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's yeah, so high quality clothes is not really available. All the stuff are, real cheap stuff that's made in China, and
Yeah.
there's no quality control. As they say. Yeah.
Okay. Summer, we're welcoming you into the...
Sorry.
Squiz over a little bit so we make sure you got you in the shot
Yeah.
properly, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be shy of the Jirtu man.
No
It's
worries,
alright.
don't worry,
I
don't
put
worry.
some perfume on, I don't smell
good.
too bad.
No, me neither. Yeah, I was actually looking up your clothes as well, and I love the color combinations that you have going on.
Cool, thank you.
And I especially like the blue that you have on. I could totally steal that. That
Yeah,
looks nice.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering, like, is that it's also your passion, and it's that equality and sustainability that kind of really wants you to take it back home?
Yeah, I guess like I said, I wanted to do something that's different. Normally when people think about starting something, it's all about the money, and taking it to where you are able to make money. So if you go take this back home, I know that if the price is too high, not everyone can afford it. But I want to take it home. It doesn't matter what I do with it. I want to take it home, and I know it may seem like a pipe dream, like I said, but we'll take it home.
Yeah,
Why do you think it may seem like a pipe dream?
The reality is it takes money to make money, and you gotta have the financial backing to do things that you want to do, and I think it's what I want to do is get the idea out there. And when it's out there in the world, I know that with collective brainstorming, people coming together, I know that I'm able to achieve that, hopefully, yes.
Right, because that was going to lead me to a question I wanted to ask you. Did you get in? Have you had any support, or did you want to get in the way of like investors or government funding or organisations? Would that be something that would be helpful? Was that?
Absolutely. I think every dollar counts, and I think I'm new in this space, so I'm quite fish out of water, so to speak. And I really don't know how to go about getting these financial support and
Coming on the Blackhouse is one way.
yeah. Thank you for having me here. It's great to be in the Blackhouse, and thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
I'm sure that there are probably organisations and investors out there. I know with setting up different things, there are organisations like JirtuWear is one organisation that can help you apply for funding, because I'm sure something like this will come under creative, right? Creative or creative arts, maybe. What made you get into sportswear?
I don't want to say I used to, but I like staying fit, I used to gym before I got married. Used to be my wife and my everything, and so now and it's comfortable clothes, you can wear it, and it sits comfortable on you. It's something that you slip on and you can go out and also look good at the same time. To me, I think it's what looks good, what looks good, what's something that people will look at and say, I want to wear that. That will look nice on me, And I think having quality stuff and things that look good, it sells itself, I don't want something where I have to, nag people to buy it. I want people to nag me and say, I want, when is the next stock coming in, can I, put my name in line and stuff like that. So I want it to sell itself, and investing in quality is something that I put kind of my focus on as well,
So tell me now, if I wanted to come along and be like, hey, Demeysa, I want to buy something. What do you got available?
I got socks available at the moment. I got some real nice socks.
Because as you mentioned, you said when you before you got married and all those things, and I was like, man, I'm married, I got a baby on the way. Like I was like, come on, man, like you tell me I'm not gonna go to the gym anymore.
No, you can still go to the
gym.
gym.
If I'm out there, right, and I'm like, I need some clothes to inspire me. I need something nice to put on to get to the gym and feel good about myself. So I don't look and go, oh my gosh, I'm getting old and I got a baby at home. Tell me about that. Tell me what can I get? So you got socks right now?
Socks. I got these ones here. Also, I got tracksuit pants as well. Top to bottom, creamy and black. So that's the stock that I've ordered that's coming soon. I've ordered about 100 and that's all sold out. People already said that made their order in, people in Melbourne.
Wow.
And so, so it's the demand is out there. And I think that, I wish I had the finances to kind of, expand it. Yeah.
Is it because people recognize Jirtu?
Yeah, it's I don't have to advertise it. People are already familiar with it. The word Jirtu it's part of the movement. People are the Oromo people have been fighting for their freedom. There's been political unrest in Ethiopia, as you all know.
Okay.
And this has been a way of saying, despite the struggles I used to live in, it's like Jirtu, and the people's response will be, we're here, we're living, we're despite the odds, we're still here, we're moving forward.
I mean, you spoke a lot about the people in that context, but what does Jirtu mean to you? Like you as a person, Demeysa, with your background, your experience, what does that mean to you? Because obviously you've chosen it for a reason. You've spoken a little bit about that, but you as a person, what does that mean to you?
Jirtu, man, it's something that each time that I say it, there's this ring in my heart, and it's part of my identity, it's my heritage, it's my language, and it means a lot of things, man. It's what I am, Jirtu it represents a lot of who I am, and
Do you feel like it's quite important to carry your heritage in the things that you do? Because I can kind of feel that passion, and I feel like we've all been through similar things, where we don't just represent ourselves oftentimes in our lives. We represent our culture, our background, our community.
A value?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think growing up in a Western country, there's that element of losing touch with your identity, and I guess for people who are born in the Western country and when they see Jirtu, even they can connect with it straight away because it represents something for them. And this is the point of research and trying to find out what that means for them, and I guess it has that implication as well, and identity is the big thing, and Jirtu is an identity for the Oromo people.
I love that. I can just think about maybe African boys or girls walking past each other and just seeing someone who's wearing it and be like, oh, I know what that means, or I know that brand, and it's kind of like solidarity and and also it looks good,
it does look good.
Are you living? And especially when you're working, I feel like you don't feel more alive than you do when you're sweating. So
struggling for breath.
You love me, I'm alive.
Are you breathing?
Yeah.
And you'd be a great promotional because you're a physical trainer.
I mean, used to be. I'm not anymore. No. But it was a good. I still do it. I still train a lot. I couldn't imagine myself ever not training. I feel this film with us. In my mind, training just makes me feel very connected to myself, my body, and it helps my mental health as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes me feel quite free and grateful that that I can use my body in the way that I can. And I feel like my wife will tell you guys that. I'm very lazy when it comes to buying sports gear for myself. I went to the gym this morning, and I'm pretty sure the t-shirt that I was wearing I've had for the last 6 years. And she's not about that at all. So this might be a great opportunity for me to be like, this is I know a guy, because she's very upset that I just kind of go, no, it's got a hole in it, but it's still working. It's cool.
Yeah.
So I
I like that with t-shirts.
And the point that I'm trying to make is that in that space, I feel that there's only a certain amount of brands that I always see, and they're always the same ones, So to feel something that's connected to me and a culture that I recognize and understand and want to be, connect with, I think would be quite cool.
And that's a question that can apply to everybody. Like, are you living your life in a way that you're happy with? I don't know how to explain it. It's not in like a judgmental way. It's like a checking in. You're like, are you living?
Are you okay?
Are you good?
Are you living? You're just getting by.
You
just kind of, I'm just thumbs up, I'm cool,
You're thriving or surviving, what I mean.
But even with that too, I've been thinking about that very same question recently about just life and living, and for me it all comes back to people, right? It's because so I spend so much time by myself doing the reading and writing and PhD stuff, and then last night we had a family dinner on my wife's side of the family, and it just felt nice to just be with people. I'm like, oh, I've just totally forgot about how much work I have to do. You know, so like I think about this as well, and the kind of connections, as you mentioned, you know, if you see other young African kids walking around, you're like, oh man, like I feel connected. I don't have to say anything, I just feel that connection, you know, which feeds your spirit, right?
Whereas I feel like a lot of big brands you see and you're kind of like, oh, there's a bit of a disconnect there because, I mean, if I see someone wearing, I mean, what's a really big brand at the moment? But, you know, when Supreme was a big thing, and now it's not. When it was, and I see someone wearing Supreme, I'm like, damn, I can't afford that. And there's, like, a bit of a disconnect. And I feel like your brand, with the way that it's sustainable, and the way that you're taking it back, whereas most people are trying to take it out, you're taking it back. It feels like, it feels really connective and not as isolating as a lot of sportswear and, I don't know.
Yeah, like I sort of feel that way about, like, my favourite brand has always been Adidas, right? But I get so annoyed with Adidas because at one stage Missy Elliott was one of their people that were, but the clothes that were supposed to be the Missy Elliott brand under Adidas were never in bigger sizes. They were always in smaller sizes. So I have a question for you as a big gal, right? You know, what is it that you're doing with your fashion line that kind of makes you stand apart from all the other brands we see out there?
I guess the main thing is taking it back, you know. Sorry, I forgot your name. So like someone said, you know, most people are thinking about taking it out and trying to get, you know, make the most money, see which kind of avenue makes the most money for them. But for me, it's about taking it back and letting the people enjoy the finer things in life. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Will you be making plus size 18?
For sure.
Okay, you got my vote. That's all I need to know. Because, you know, like when I came back from Australia, and I thought Australia was pretty bad, and I came back to New Zealand where we have the biggest people on the planet living here, and it was like coming back to the land of the giants. Like as soon as you get off the plane, and it's like people are huge here, and you go into the shops in town, and everything goes to a size 16, and then it's like you're a special case after that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because, you know, especially like with Polynesian people, especially the Tongans, they did research on Tongan people. They've got the biggest bone mass and muscle mass of any group of humans on the planet, right? So there's more Tongans in New Zealand than there is in Tonga.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm just like, why are we making our clothes for, in a country where we have such large people, we go to the place where the people are the smallest, and they're the ones that create our clothing lines. So like, where are you getting your clothes created, like put together, assembled?
I think if people had like where they're made on sticker on them, everyone would be made in China. So unfortunately, my clothes come from China.
Yeah. They've got the biggest manufacturer.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've basically got it locked down.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, they're from China. Yeah, I imported from China.
I personally think that New Zealand could go a long way to introducing manufacturing to the South Pacific.
Oh yeah, totally. That'd be a really,
as industry.
Yeah, that would be a big audience that they'd have, you know? Like, you'd have all the islands and then Australia even, like, that's a lot of people to
And you'd have people making clothes that actually understand that the bigger you get doesn't mean the rounder you get. No, it just means you get more curves. That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting, like, there seems to be a very limited scope in what you can buy in certain ways, right? Like obviously I'm not on that, but, like, my annoyance is, like, I'm short and I've got broad shoulders. So, like, I go out and I'm just like, oh my god, like all the jackets, I need a different size. I need you to create a medium for me. That's what I need. Because like all the mediums fit my shoulders, but they're too long for my shoulder arm.
Right.
And all the smalls don't fit my shoulder, but they're like, oh, that's a perfect leg. You know, look at that. That's perfect on my arm.
Yeah.
But you know, so like the size you find, I'm just like, when am I gonna get the right jacket size, man? So I've got all these jackets in my wardrobe, and I'm just like, I buy them because I feel different in each one. You know. Yeah. And I see that, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I need that one thing to get, you know. But yeah, so like, I mean, it's similar to what Leah's talking about here, you know, that like, I guess, yeah. Do you think about those things when you create? Because one thing that I've always thought about, like, because I've been to the States before, and I've been back home to South Africa before, and the thing that really bothers me is that, not what bothers me here, is when I'm walking around, I don't see the bunda walk the way that mine does, you know, I don't see the shoulders, I don't see these things, and I'm like, yo, like, then I go to the States and I'm like, oh, that guy looks like me, I can recognize that, I see that, you know, so like, is that something that comes to your mind as well? like thinking about different kinds of bodies, especially African bodies, because
Yeah.
They'd be very different, like from like this to like really, really different.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
they say in Tanzania? Backs like ironing boards. That's not us.
No,
That could be
absolutely
me.
not.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, man. I think this one's quite stretchy, so it'll grow with you. And yeah, I do definitely think about that because it's all about making it. East Africans are not as curvy as West Africans. I gotta put it out there, but they're still curvy nonetheless. And so yeah.
Yeah. I have actually no problem. I'm a big Shein girl. I love Shein. Because, I mean, I'm probably a fast fashion fiend, but like a lot of people are into sustainability. Not me. You know why? Because we didn't have fashion for most of my life in New Zealand.
Right.
And now it's finally coming out.
And now it's here. I am going for the fast fashion. Sorry, all the greenies out there. I'm probably not very PC right at this moment. But, China is doing a lot of the manufacturing. And I remember when New Zealand did a lot of manufacturing. I don't know if we were still doing a lot of manufacturing, whether you'd be able to make it affordable, and I think that was something that you mentioned is quite important to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Affordability.
Yeah, and I guess the higher the quantity, the quantity you buy, the cheaper you get it for, and I think money makes money, and money makes things a bit easier. But I guess if you had control of the manufacturing, of course, like I was watching this interview of Kanye. Kanye he's a genius, bro. People call him crazy, but he's a genius. I love the way he thinks. He thinks outside the box, and people are not used to that. So if they're not used to something, they'll label it, as crazy, someone who's not really in with the norm, And he was saying that if he had it his way, his clothes would be free for people, So I think Kanye's on a different level now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's doing some weird stuff this
He's
weekend.
doing some very weird stuff, but
Let's just talk about pre-2016.
2016 Kanye.
Yeah.
We've got to specify the eras.
Look, some of the things he says make sense, I don't know about all the other stuff, but he really talks about, the things he talks about sometimes make sense,
well, how about we go for a music break?
Yeah.
And we'll come back and you can show us some of your stuff.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to kick this off with a bit of Maroki. That was Maroki Will Find Me in Duna, All My Love, and the great Diva Mahal with Run Me Through. And welcome back to the Blackhouse on 106.1 FM. And we're in the studio with Summer, with Demeysa, and Byron, and they've gone and in the break they've just gone away and put on some of this amazing JirtuWear. How about you tell us about this design over here, Demeysa? Because I just noticed that's your head.
So of course I had to incorporate the afro, and so the afro with a bit of outlining and Jirtu in the middle, and Dasa is the first name. So the first letter of our names, so Demeysa, Anissa, who's my wife, Salsabil, which is my first daughter, and Alina, who's my youngest daughter.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So there's a bit of personal touch to it as well.
Yeah.
Can we see that really good in the camera there? Because have a stand up. Give us a twirl.
I'll stand up.
Give us a twirl. It's Fashion Weekly.
I'll take this off. Do a little twirl.
Like I really like that.
It's just in the back as well.
Yeah.
And I like the stripes and like the
Got
colour.
cool touches.
Yeah, I like the stripes there. How does it feel for you? Like,
Oh, it feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, should I?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, it feels good. It feels great. It feels good.
I think you'll find your medium.
Yeah, my medium hoodie.
Okay, and what about your one you got here?
This one here is just a jacket. It's got the Jirtu going down. Yeah, sorry, here we
You
go.
got
Yeah.
the twirl as well.
So it's got the Jirtu going down this way and on the hands as well, so you can tie
That's
it up.
sick.
Yeah,
Oh.
sometimes it gets a bit annoying when it kind of comes up to your
And
hand.
that's waterproof, yeah,
Yeah, it is waterproof.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but not heavy. So you could. It's just like a shower sort
yeah.
of jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite light. Yeah.
No, I love that. Is
Yeah.
there anything on the back?
Nothing on the back, just plain blue.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing on the back, just on the hoodie.
And what you got on? Summer?
I got on this real comfy. It was like it's like the black version of the one that you had on, right?
Yeah, the blue one. Yeah.
It is so comfy. I don't know if there's anything on the back.
No.
Okay.
I love the way the shoulder goes. Like the shoulder shape
I would
thing.
run in this, or like just wear it. This is really nice. I knew you said it was comfy, but like I wasn't expecting it to be like.
What kind of
Stretchy.
material is that?
I'm not
It's just
sure.
really stretchy, but
And
it's
pretty
shiny.
Warm. It's pretty warm as well. But yeah.
That's amazing. I really love that. And you've also got some little red things on the.
I got socks, you know, of course.
So we can put those over the fireplace for Christmas to put goodies in.
Of course.
Get your dirty socks.
Do whatever you like with it, yeah. So they're quite comfy. I actually got them on right now, so yeah,
Oh,
super
hell
comfy,
yeah.
yeah.
Prove it. Oh, there they are. They're
Okay.
Prove it now. Hurry up, go do it.
okay.
So I think you were talking about getting them made in China. How are you going about finding the people to do all the stuff, like even putting the design together?
So I sent them the designs to them, and they incorporated onto the clothes, which
Oh, okay,
But
so it's all done there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Like that is really cool. I do know, like I am aware that you can do that with t-shirts over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And investors, how are we going to get people to invest in you?
I think the main thing is
How about you tell us? You tell us what you need. What would help you right now?
I think for me, the biggest help for me right now is for people to like my social media, JirtuWear on Facebook, as well as Instagram as well. So just search up the name and like and follow,
Okay.
as they say.
Are you gonna get a website, mate?
Down the track for sure. Yeah. And I think, like I said, it's at the beginning stages. So any help will do, you know, someone who's well versed in this area, who's wanting to support me in this journey, be a mentor for me,
Even like a branding person?
Absolutely.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And I know that they're out there, like even with us at the Blackhouse, we've had outside support come in with the likes of Huie and Ignite. We've just finished doing a project with them. And it was a rebranding project, so like we're gonna look a little different in a little while, And it's just as you move along. Like I think me and you had a chat about it yesterday. It was when we started the Blackhouse. It was really just a hobby. It was actually for me. It was something to do.
Yeah.
And it just kind of started growing legs. So I've just gone with it, with the legs that it's grown, and it's amazing what comes out of the woodwork when you let people know. I'm sure also, how are the organisations like the change makers and other organisations like that? How have they, or African Community Councils of Wellington, do they know about you? And
so this is just a thing that's been brewing in the background. So this is my first time publicly saying, this is me and this is what I do. So most people don't really know about it. So
you heard it here first on the Blackhouse.
absolutely, exclusively. So I think any help will do. Like I said, I'm open to any help and advice, and in terms of getting this to the point that I want to get it.
Okay, well, change makers, African Community Councils of Wellington. Who else is out there? Do you know any other organisations that are out there?
Not on the top of my head.
No.
Oh, okay.
I actually
I
work
was
at
like, fumble.
I work at Change Makers.
Oh, you work at
currently,
Change Makers.
so part time. Like I said, I'm a social work student as well.
Okay.
In my final year, so I'm doing my final year placement with Change Makers. So it's been really great.
You do social work.
Yeah.
Oh, talk to us about that.
Social work. I think it's kind of my life journey kind of led me there. I wanted to study something, and I wanted to do something with my life. So like many young people, I ventured off to Australia, and that didn't work out, and went back home, got married, and I recommend doing that because it put my life in perspective. I honestly, man, I just
Australia has that effect on people.
And I think meeting my wife was the best thing for me, and now we have 2 beautiful kids, and life has a purpose, and and social work, it just kind of fell into place for me. I wanted to study psychology initially, but a degree in psychology won't do much for me, and over time I said, at the end, the reason why I'm studying is to get a job at the end. What could give me a job at the end? So social work was something that I was already doing anyway in the community. Why not have the papers to professionally do it? So yeah, we went down that route. Yeah.
It sounds. Oh, sorry. It sounds like you're really passionate about the humanities, and like it shows in your brand as well. Do you know what I mean? By the taking it back and also working like with your community. That's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's innate in everyone to care for one another. You know, I think it's the upbringing and the environment that changes people. It's like, you know, a child knows that, you know, when a child stares at you, it's staring at you out of curiosity, not out of judgment. When you make eye contact with a child, it will never break eye contact. But with grown-ups, you make eye contact with them, they freak out because they think you can see what they're thinking. You know, because we are in an environment that we just judge instantly. You know, whether we are not really judge, but you maybe even thinking, oh, this person looks nice. And when they make eye contact with you, you think that they can see or hear what you're thinking, so you break eye contact. So yeah, I think it's that place and nurturing that inner child and I guess
this is really interesting because you just said that last week.
Yeah, I was talking about the exact
children.
same thing.
Yeah, tell them what you were saying last week because that was.
Was this about the child? So adults versus children. I find children to be a lot easier to get along with.
Yep.
And they're a lot more honest, and it's less, like you said, it's way less judgmental. It's more pro-social, like they're trying to get to know something, or they're following the curiosity. So I work at a nature school out in Plymonton, because I love kids, and it's it's pretty much all Caucasian apart from some Pacific Islander and some Māori kids. But a child who's seen me a lot with short hair was really confused when I walked in with my braids done over the week. And he was just, you know, we were doing it like our kai in the morning before we started doing our bushwork, and he was just like touching, he was like 7, he was like touching my hair, and then he kind of stopped, and then like I was just like, it's fine, you can touch it. He was like, oi, is that real hair? I was like, no. He's like, oh, it's fake, is it a wig? And he just like, the whole class just, I don't know, I just found that really funny. And I've had other instances with a 4-year-old, and I think it was his first time like up front seeing a black person or a brown person, because we were holding hands, and it was the same thing, being like, why are you that colour and I'm this colour? Because I see him staring at me and then staring away, and I was like, wow, like that, I've never been asked that question so up front from someone. I think that pro-social behavior, you're right, it's innate. It comes from being a baby. Babies are always looking to connect and attach, and in the world that we live in, we're constantly getting help, and it's really good to give it back. So yeah, I really appreciate taking it home, because we all have ideas about making things bigger, and that's important, of course. That's the human dream, and it's also really important to take things back, and back where the help is really needed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking, because you said you know one of your dreams is to take it back. Is that the only, like, I what I'm trying to get is, what's the vision here? What's the, besides that, what's the dream? Like, let's be as ambitious as we can right now. I want to you know, I don't want to, you know, I feel like we always have a habit, every time we talk about our dreams, we almost feel, oh, we're going to be judged.
And we're going to keep it small.
Yeah, so we curb ourselves, you know, we monitor ourselves or police ourselves. Like, if you were to say, outside of taking it back home, what's the dream here? What's the vision?
I'm going to be real with you, and I've been here in the Western country for about, say, 23 years. And going back in 2016 and being immersed amongst those who look like you, I never thought they'll make a difference on my psychological and mental health. You know, I've always felt that in each space I was feeling that I was judged, and so therefore I carried this pressure and anxiety that I didn't know was on me. You know, and as soon as I stepped foot in Ethiopia, that all just lifted from me, you know. and it was at a good point, you know. I was kind of struggling with my identity, where it is that I belong in society. And I know that, you know, society has a way of putting people in slots, you know. I'm like, where's my slot in society, and how do I fit into this society, and what's my contribution, you know. And it came to me when I was back home. I said, you know what, at the end of the day, I could be extraordinary in every space that I be in, but at the end of the day, there's always limitations put on me, you know, it imposed on me by society. And I wanted to and I told myself the reality for me is that when I think of retirement, I think of back home. When I think of peace and feeling confident in myself and in my skin, I think of back home. And that is why I want to take it back home and ensure that, you know, that people back home have quality clothes as well. And I think I don't have any further ambitions about money and whatnot. I think that all kind of will take shape by itself, and I think that is my main focus, you know.
What about being the biggest sportswear label in Ethiopia, Australia, and New Zealand? Can we shoot a little bit?
For sure. Hey, there you go. You know, I think that could be the case. You know, and I think when you put ideas into the world, it will shape itself as it goes, you know. And when you let things authentically kind of take shape, it grows into something beautiful. And that's what I want you to become, something beautiful, you know.
Awesome. I truly believe that we can heal a lot of our feelings of like displacement and feeling isolated by going back and making some social changes beyond like just bringing money back. I think that's super sick.
Yeah, the remittance things, that, like a lot of people aim to think, well, I'm doing this, I'm remitting. But I know I can relate to that because what you were experiencing, because when I went back to Tanzania and I actually got off the plane in Zimbabwe and like kissed the ground. I was like, finally, because I was actually quite old when I went, like I was 29, 28. And then we got to Tanzania. There was a 2-week stopover in Zimbabwe, and then we went to Tanzania. And I got to Tanzania, and it was like, wow. And then I was like, wow. Like, I just went crazy. I mean, I was a surfer, so I'd actually bought a boogie board in Perth and seen, Tanzania's on the coast, right? And there's no books about what Dar es Salaam's like. There was just books about the wilderness, safari, the flora and fauna, in our library in New Plymouth. So basically, I'm like, it's on the coast, I'm gonna take my boogie board, got a boogie board in Perth, got to Dar es Salaam, and the beaches were like, there was a reef, like about 100k out, or maybe not that, maybe half a k. And so all the waves broke out there. And the water was bath temperature. Can you imagine the size of the sharks? And so in the beach, there's like no waves. And I'm like, this sucks. But then my brothers ended up using my boogie board as a lilo and just floated in the water and whatnot. So I was having that culture shock moment all the time. Not because, first of all, it was the first time I didn't feel like I had to deal with racism. It was like it just didn't. It was like just evaporated. And then the next culture shock was everywhere I went, black people were running things.
Oh, amazing.
And I was like, why is my brain doing gymnastics right now? This is what's supposed to be. But all the time I'm going, because everywhere, you know, this is mid-90s, everywhere that I lived, the people that were running things were Pākehās. They weren't people of colour. And so everywhere I went, the bank tellers, the shop owners, everywhere. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in my brain? Like, why am I finding this like, you know, it's everything screeching to a halt? And then I realised I was having this reverse culture shock, which was really good for me, but really confronting at the same time because I hadn't experienced that in my day-to-day life. Can any of you guys relate to that? Were you finding that when you, like, was it like when you went to Ethiopia, because you'd been here for so long, and then you go back and it's like, hang on a minute, this makes me feel good, but it's like, at the same time, it's confronting, but it's not confronting, it shouldn't be confronting. Yeah,
I think, like, some of the stuff, like, you know, wearing seatbelts
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
no, people hanging from the side of the car.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
All these things you gotta adjust. Your brain has to adjust initially, but you think, oh, aren't they gonna fall off? And all these things, you know, because
Well,
you're
don't
so
tell me about that.
accustomed to a certain way of doing things, you know, and they survive. You know, over time you get used to.
Yeah,
that.
like that. It was like initially, and then over time I was like, this is so bloody cool,
Yeah.
Second
man.
nature.
Like, because I actually worked the Dallas with my brothers. I didn't hang outside the van though, but you know, I was like, hey, give the shillings, give the shillings, shillings. Yeah, but that was the way I wanted to see Dar es Salaam. I just wanted to be in the streets, which was really weird because I come from that background in New Zealand. I didn't want to go into all the you know, where all the tourists are going or any of that stuff. I wanted to be in the streets with the people, seeing what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely the way to do it. I mean, I can have like a opposite, not opposite, kind of like different. I was young. I was born in Ethiopia. I came here when I was 6. But for me, it was coming from a place where like everyone looked like me, and where I guess white people were tourists to like a place where it was the complete opposite. But I would say when I went back to Yemen in 2013 as well, that was very different. There is a culture shock where, I mean, customs and also how you speak to each other, how you greet people, even in the shops and everything. Back home, everyone is really close and really friendly. So even if I go down to the dairy, you know, like they'll talk to you like they know you and invite you over for lunch straight away. And here, I remember as a kid, I was really eager to make friends, and you'd be called a bit weird for being like coming off too strong.
Yeah,
You know?
being friendly, right?
Being overly friendly, because there's a lot less of that here.
Yeah, my wife and I have that conversation quite a lot actually. Like, we travelled back with her in 2013, and she said it was quite bizarre how everyone was, they just cared. They just seemed to be like, oh, what's up? You come into my house, you're a guest, we'll look after you, everything. And actually ask her questions about, oh, so what do you do? Like, they just want to find out about her.
Yeah.
And she said it felt very warm and welcoming. She said, here, it's almost like people are awkward. They're like, oh, I don't want to get too funny just in case they're judging or something. You know, like it's a really bizarre thing.
Oh, I don't want to get to know someone too much in case they want to hang around me all the time.
Yeah. It's like this weird, like, kind of unique take on like British awkwardness, but it's kind of created its own thing.
It's mutated.
Yeah.
And it's different. Whereas, and I think that shows every time you kind of meet someone from a region that is similar.
Yeah.
And our countries are really, like, I don't know how to explain it, very diverse as well. Like
East Africa's very diverse.
Really
Like, it's so,
diverse.
even the language, I mean, like, we've had this conversation a lot. There's Swahili in Tanzania, there's Swahili in Kenya, there's Swahili in all the different countries, but everybody speaks it a little different, you know. And one of the things that you were saying, like, how people, like, if I walk through our neighborhood of Kijitonyama, like, before I even got to the buses to join my brothers on the buses who were running their own dala, I was having to say, good morning to all these people. And we'll be here when you come back.
Yeah.
You know, you've gone now, and we'll be still here when you come back, so we'll see you then.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, can people just leave me alone? So it took a while for me to adjust to that, because I'd never experienced it before. But by the time I had, I loved it. Like, I was just wanted to go back. But, you know, like, the travel from here, it's not like if you're in Europe, the travel over there is quite cheap. It's like going to Australia. But from here, it's like, it's a whole investment.
It's 3K, like, at least, no?
Save up for a couple of years.
Oh, I don't know. I think when I went there, it was 3,500 return.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty expensive.
Mm.
But you do miss it, like, you miss everything. And you just miss being a person and not feeling, like you said, it all just evaporated.
It evaporated.
And that's so visual, because that's
Yeah.
exactly how it felt. Like, all of that stress, anxiety, the pressure, the try not to look sus in public, all of that just evaporates all at once. And you're like, man, this is what it
And
feels
the
like.
attention you get was something else. Like, I was invisible in New Zealand, and suddenly I know what it's like to be Marilyn Monroe over there. And I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it. I was like, I remember going out with my sister one time, and you know, I went out, I was all happy to go to town. By the time I had my cap down, I had my backpack on the front, I'm like, I just want to go to my room because I can't handle
like a celebrity.
I can't handle this attention.
I love it.
Yeah, not used to it.
It's interesting how they know that you're not from there. Like, they don't know, like, for example, they know who has come to visit. They know the locals.
Yeah.
They have a very, very strong sense of community. That shows that they know everyone that comes through that area, that neighborhood.
And I think, like, Tanzania is unique in the sense that we don't have tribalism. Like, it's kind of a thing that was Julius Nyerere really put his kind of like, we're going to stamp this out.
I think we need that in Ethiopia.
Yeah, and so like
Somalia,
you also see it's quite. We've got tribes that look like me. We've got light skinned tribe. I mean, I wasn't this light. This is Wellington white. But, you know, like we got tribes that are my colouring. We've got a lot of mixed race. We've got the highest rate of albinoism in the world in Tanzania. Like there's so many albinos there. So like me walking around there wasn't unusual. I don't know what it'd be like in Zimbabwe or South Africa or Kenya or anywhere else, but I know for me it wasn't an issue. I mean, I was working the dollars and making lots of money for my brothers because all the other dollars wanted me on their bus too, because then they get more people coming on their bus. So I got to see a lot of Dar es Salaam, but we're heading up to the end of the show. Final thoughts, anyone?
I just want to say I'm real stoked for you, and I love the idea behind Jirtu and what it means to you, and like, I feel like now it means something to me, so I'm super excited to make my pitch. I want to get this.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely want to buy me some too.
Yeah. I mean, for me it's just, we want to take any measures we can to support you in this endeavour. But yeah, like you said, like, subscribe, all those things.
Yeah.
Follow them on social media.
Tell us your social media quickly before we go.
JirtuWear. So just type JirtuWear in Facebook and as well as Instagram.
And that's us from the Blackhouse. I'd like to thank Summer, Demeysa from JirtuWear. Check it out on Facebook and Instagram. And Byron, who's going to keep coming back and telling us more about this housing issue and race. We're going to get back onto the racism stuff next week.
At some point.
Yeah, we got to get into that. You know, like, it's just so important. You know what I mean? And it just covers so many things. And we even touched on it briefly here with how this has inspired you for your fashion line as well.
Absolutely. It's an everyday thing, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's us.
Cool.